Welcome to our NCAA semifinal press conference with Texas. We're joined by head coach Jared Elliott and student athletes Asia O'Neill and Logan Eggleston. As a courtesy to your fellow media members as well as the coaches and athletes, please silence your cell phones. Recording press conference video on cell phones is prohibited. Coach, if you would please begin with an opening statement, and then we'll go to questions for Coach and the student athletes.
Sure, abiding by your rules here. Well, first of all, we're excited to be in Omaha, and they put on a great event, so our players are fired up. And this is the 50th year of the Title IX, and to see where this sport is growing and the development of the athletes, the number of athletes that are playing, and the incredible eagerness of fans to come be a part of it has been really special, and to see this sport go where it's at. We're obviously excited to be here. We have a special group that have been really loyal to one another and are fighting to get to the top of this mountain. We've got a huge road ahead of us. We understand that, but I think we're in a really good frame of mind right now as we approach tomorrow night's match.
All right, we'll take questions now for any of these three. Please raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll bring a microphone to you. Please identify yourself and affiliation and by name who your question is for.
It's Lee Feinswag from volleyballmag.com. Asia, what's practice like at Texas, especially this year where the roster's so deep and so talented?
Yeah, our practices are pretty intense. I think our coaches do a great job at getting a really good practice run in every single day. Everyone's working extremely hard all the time. We have a lot of different lineups that we do throughout practice, and it's really nice that it always changes because we're always playing against a different one of our teammates. But the culture is just really good. Everyone works extremely hard every single day, from the freshmen all the way to our seventh-year seniors. So it's just been a really enjoyable moment every single day. I don't think there's been a year where I've been this happy to come in and practice like every single day.
Jarrett and I talked in the preseason about how your second team, how great it was. And was it, for both of you guys, was it like that this year, that the practices were the highest level in all the time you've been there?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think some of the hardest and toughest competition that we've seen this season is in our own gym. And it's really awesome, because when you come back after, playing a Big 12 match and get to come into the gym and play like a national championship level match in practice, it's really, really cool. And it's awesome to see our freshmen step up and really push us upperclassmen to be better. And they're just making amazing plays every single day, and there's just so much talent. It's really awesome, and it's making us all better, and it's been like that since the very first day of practice. So it's really cool to see the improvement and the development throughout the whole season, but truly every single person on our team could be on the court and really contribute.
Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. Asia or Logan, just feelings that now that you're here, what's it like, and how's it like being so close to your goal?
It's incredible being here. Obviously, we made it 2 years ago, but with COVID, it was very different. So just all of us having these new experiences has been super fun. It's very different, but we've really been enjoying it. But also, it's time to kind of just lock in and get prepared for our match tomorrow. Everyone's extremely excited to be here, but we know that just getting here is not our ultimate goal. So it's really just dialing back in, enjoying and cheering for what we accomplished last week, but now we're at a clean slate and we have 2 matches to accomplish inevitably what we want at the end.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's a business trip. We are obviously going to enjoy all the fun things that come along with it, but we're here for one goal, and that's the main focus, and that's what we're going to, give all of our time and energy into, is to winning it all. So we're really excited to be here, and we're excited to get to work.
Yeah. Logan, I wonder if I could ask you 2 things. One, if you could kind of reflect on, at the high level you were even after last season, how have you become a better player this year? And second, if you could talk about Texas's tradition. I mean, we see that this sport has grown so much, it becomes harder and harder to make the Final Four, and yet you guys keep doing it. If you could just address both of those, please.
Yeah, I think for sure I've grown as a player just in 1 year, and I think I give a lot of credit to our coaching staff for putting some amazing, talented players around me that are pushing me every single day to be better. I mean, obviously you have Zoe and Emma who came in, and they're amazing passers, amazing defenders, and I learned so much from them every single day. And then Madison's an amazing attacker, just an amazing overall volleyball player. So I think having them in the gym, I've just learned so many new skills and so many new techniques that I hadn't seen in the past, and it's it's really cool to get to add more and more things to my toolbox, and just being able to grow and just have so many more options of what I could do. So I think, Jarrett's done a great job of surrounding us with really, really talented players, and it's helping us all improve. And then your second question, sorry, was about. Yeah, so one reason we all come to Texas is to be in situations like this when we're competing at really high levels. And so this is not a surprise for us. I think we all are determined to get to this point in our season. And so it's something that we strive to do. And when we don't make it there, it's a big disappointment for us. And it's going to drive us to be even better the next year. So I think the past few years not making it there has been a really big driver for some of the older girls, especially me, Asia, and Molly. But then also the younger girls come in knowing that this is kind of the expectation for Texas, and we have to compete at high levels and be really good in high pressure situations. And so it's what we came here for, and it's exciting to be in those situations, and I'm really pumped to see how we respond and to continue to improve over the next short time that we still can.
Cedric Golden, Austin American Statesman. Asia, you've walked these Big 12 national tournament streets with Logan, and I know you're coming back next year, but this is your last weekend of volleyball with your girl. How big is it for you to send her out with the one piece of her glittering resume that's missing? That's a championship.
Yeah, that's ultimately the goal. Logan's done so much for the program, and she's done so much just as being a really good teammate and best friend for me. So obviously we all have the goal of wanting to win, but there's no other way that I would want to send Logan out. I think all of our team has that in the back of our minds. Like, yes, we want to win for us, we want to win for Jarrett, but we really want Logan, after her 5th year here, to just be able to, hoist that trophy at the end of it all and just feel as if she accomplished everything that she set out to accomplish in her 5 years here.
Logan, you've earned that respect, not only from your teammates, but from the national media, from your opponents. What does that mean to you to leave such a legacy, not only in Texas volleyball, but in volleyball internationally and in this country?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think, obviously, I'm biased, but volleyball is the best sport there is. And so it's really cool to see the attention that it's getting and the way it's growing. And it's cool to be, a figure that people talk about. I'm surrounded by so many amazing players and coaches and get to compete against so many amazing players. And so just to be, a part of that conversation is just, I'm very, very grateful for that. But it's cool. It's obviously I came to Texas to do really big things and to be in really big situations. And so it's cool to kind of have accomplished that. But again, I couldn't have done it without my teammates. All the awards that I get and all the conversations that I'm a part of, I couldn't do without the people behind me that are setting me up to, be successful in so many situations. So it's an honor to just get to play beside the people that I get to play with. They're the reason that I'm who I am, and so it's not me, it's all of us. Texas volleyball, we're doing it together.
Lincoln O'Neill, Omaha World-Herald. Logan, what do you remember from the 2021 spring season playing in this building, and what ways can being in here, the facility, help you this time? Yeah,
it's definitely familiar walking in this morning, seeing, the whole arena. We've definitely been here before and didn't end the way we wanted it to. So it's definitely this kind of redemption arc. We want to leave this place happier than we did last time, but it's going to be completely different. We were here during COVID, so there weren't a lot of fans. It was just a totally different vibe. And so I think, although we have been here before, it's a completely different year, and we're going to approach it a little bit differently for sure. But we're excited, and walking to this gym was definitely, gave us a little bit of that taste of what it felt like to not win, and we don't want to feel that way again.
Logan or Asia, could either of you talk about the job Sage has done this season leading your offense?
Sage does an incredible job. She's a really selfless setter. She puts all of us in incredible situations, and she's one of those setters that takes, I don't want to say criticism, but she takes constructive criticism really well. She always wants to give us the best set possible, and there's so many times that I'm like, Sage, it doesn't need to be perfect. Like, we all are here to make each other better, and you don't have to put this, immense amount of pressure on herself, but she holds herself to such a high standard and works extremely hard every single day. And, setter-middle connection is always really important, and I just feel like our closeness that we've gotten together this year, I've just really commended her on how hard she works every single day and how much she's given to this team and this program. And I'm glad that she's starting to get the recognition that she deserves.
I agree. I echo everything Asia said. And I think, too, on top of that, she's just an amazing competitor. And every single time you step on the court with her, she's going to bring 100%. And she's going to push you to be better and just really inspire you by her actions and her words. So she's just super fun to play beside. And it's just really, really awesome when you can trust your setter to always try to better the ball and put you in the best position possible. So she's done an amazing job.
Jared, have you been around an athlete that's been, as Logan is talented, but one that's used their platform to make things better in the community outside of the volleyball court and for people on campus to follow like they have Logan?
Well, it's a great question. I think I've been around a lot of players, and Texas offers a lot of resources, and Logan has taken full advantage of that. Obviously, she's an exceptional player, but that she doesn't get to see the leader that she is in our athletic department. Her focus to be great at everything and want to be a part of everything has always been a concern for me because she puts so much on her plate, but she's been able to handle it. And I know that you ask anybody on our team, is Logan going to be successful? Without a doubt. As soon as the NCAA lets me invest in her and pay her some money out of my own pocket, I'm investing in whatever business she wants to start.
Amy Just, the Lincoln Journal-Star, an immensely deep team for y'all this year, but you got 2 transfers from Nebraska in Akana and Kaffee. What have they meant to you this season?
So much. I think obviously they're super, super talented players, but they're just both amazing people, and they just came into this team and fit in and just became a part of the family immediately. And I think that's hard to do when you come, especially from a team, with a little bit of rivalry, I guess, in the past. It's hard to come in and feel that way, but they just instantly came in and just had such great energy and such great personalities. And I think that's the biggest thing they contributed to this team, is just really been amazing friends and teammates. But obviously they're super talented. They've made super big plays for us throughout the entire season, and they're going to continue to do so. But yeah, they're just such amazing people, and just getting the opportunity to play with them has just been amazing for us.
You mean? Yeah. I think they've. We knew that they were skilled, right? But we wanted to learn what kind of people they were, and they're great human beings. They've been committed to our culture and what we want to do, and have brought so much from a personality and experience standpoint. When you get people that have been through the war a lot, they bring confidence, and so they brought what they learned from Nebraska to our program. Just like Maddie brought what she brought from Kentucky. And so we had to blend all that in. That was our biggest challenge as coaches, because we had 11 new players. And, all the credit goes to our team and our captains, because they blended in really well. And then it doesn't feel like they've only been here for a few months. They've just are good human beings, and we love having them.
Lee from volleyballmag.com. Jared, specifically, what is the division of labor among you and your assistant coaches? Who does what? Like, what do you do? What does Eric do? What does David do? Like, specialties?
Yeah, we talk about the sport growing so much. I'm basically running an enterprise now. I got 80 people underneath me, and there's a ton of work that needs to be done. And my athletic department allowed me to hire some phenomenal coaches. Eric's obviously been with the Olympics, was an Olympian. He goes with the men's team. David was there in 2016, the head coach at Pepperdine. So, when I worked with Pete Carroll at USC, I got to know him pretty well and watched a lot of his practices. And when I was able to start having really good assistant coaches that really understood what we were doing, I made them coordinators. So Eric is our defensive coordinator. David is our offensive coordinator. And, we meet all week and talk about the things that we want to do, and they're in charge of those areas, and they can focus on those areas. And then I'm kind of just hovering above them, helping manage it and helping any way we can. But we work as a team together. Yes, I'm the head coach, but I give them a lot of flexibility to be who they are, because they're great at what they do, and we all work really well together. And I think the most important thing I want to make sure is that our players see that, and the confidence that I have in our coaches, and making sure that they're confident going into this, and they feel that way with our coaches.
Kevin Suits from KOLN TV. Coach, do you remember how the timeline played out with adding Kayla Caffey to your team? Because it seemed like she joined your squad right before practice began.
She came in late. She obviously went in the portal, and we called her and talked to her, and we had to get all of her academic stuff in line. But she actually wasn't able to practice until almost the second week of practice. So it was a mad rush to kind of get her in and see if we could get her in, and she was able to do that and worked out well. And she hadn't played a lot in the summertime, and so it took us a while to get her kind of acclimated and get her body up and running.
Any other questions? Down in front.
Jared, I mean, not only with your team, but we see each of the finalists here have important players that were transfers coming to the program. I mean, is that just the next evolution of the sport to embrace the transfers, and why did you take that approach with your team?
Well, I think if you talk to any smart businessman, they're going to say businesses change, and this is where the volleyball world now is changing in terms of with the NIL stuff, with fundraising stuff, with the transfer portal. It becomes a lot, and so we had to look to obviously replace Skylar Fields. We had to, we wanted to up our ante in the middle and get a little bit deeper there, and then most importantly, we wanted to up our backcourt. Last year we struggled against Nebraska, and Kayla aced us, I think, 7 times in that match, and so we looked to kind of, my job is to put the best team together, and if it's the biggest thing that we talk about right now as coaches is we're trying to protect our culture. We've got wonderful kids, we've got wonderful parents, and there's just a great feel about it. So there's a lot that goes into the transfer portal. It's now one of the models that you have to, at least one of the buckets that you have to look at and consider as you kind of keep moving forward. And, you guys asked that question about how do we keep this thing going. I mean, that's my thing. I don't sleep very much, and I'm always concerned about letting this thing fall apart. And it's relentless effort of every aspect of it all. And so if there's a good kid in the portal that we feel like can upgrade our program, and I talk to our players because they know a lot of them, I've played with a lot of them, and try to see what kind of people they are. Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of that happening.
Asia. I don't know if it's on. Asia, Jared had a lot of good things to say about the way you blocked in the Ohio State match. Is that the new you, or what was going on against Ohio State with that?
Well, at the beginning of the season, Jarrett kind of pulled me aside and told me, hey, you've been really good offensively, but we need you to lock in on your blocking, like you need to get better. And that's always been kind of, not my kryptonite, but I was a very offensive-minded person. And this year I really just tried to dial into my blocking. Like, I'm a middle blocker, that's my job. Like, I know we can put up a ball to Logan and she's going to score. So I don't know, during that match, obviously, like, I wasn't hitting how I wanted to hit, but I was like, I'm just going to affect the game how I can, and that ended up being blocking. I was like, I'm literally not going to let a ball come across this net, and I just kind of went for it, but I just heard Jared in the back of my mind, like, Asia, block the ball.
Jared, what does San Diego do that impresses you?
Well, they've got an elite setter, the transfer from Penn State. She's able to throw the ball all around. A lot of times when you run a fast offense, you can kind of cheat or kind of clamp down on some of the pin hitters, but because she sets the ball so diversely and she can set the long ball, she makes you play a little bit more neutral. They've got a lot of good arms. They test the block a ton, and I think they're extremely confident coming into this match. So they've got all the tools. They can pass, they can set, they've got great arms, they've got a good opposite, obviously, and are battle tested right now and feeling good. So we know that we've got our work cut out for us.
We can take 2 more questions. Down in front, please.
Oh, yeah, Coach, I was just wondering, from a big picture standpoint, I know you've seen a lot of pro leagues attempt, come and go. Athletes Unlimited had their model. I think this is a Pro Volleyball Federation wants to start. How optimistic are you that can happen, and how important is that for women in particular to have a place to play professionally in the United States at some point?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's Athletes Unlimited, Love Volleyballs have done a really good job in raising money. I think the model of what they have is pretty interesting. I haven't really dug into it, but it's accumulating a lot of the clubs. And so when you basically get a lot of numbers, there's an opportunity to raise some money or make money, right? The attendance is always something of concern. The travel is extremely expensive, I know, from our budgets. I think the geographical locations will be critical for that. I think the way or the mode of transportation will be critical for that. But what we're seeing with ESPN right now and the excitement they're having with our ratings and what's going on with the sport, I'm excited for that. Now, can we create a brand? We all grew up as fans, whether it's the Lakers or for me, like the Dodgers, because I just grew up watching it. To create something from the ground up is going to take a lot of time, and I think they got the right people in place. You know, I say about for my program, we need to recruit, we need to have a great culture, and I need to have a brand. Those are the three things. That's how we create longevity with our program. So I hope they can do it. I think we got all hands on board. I think they got some smart people, and I'm cheering for them to make it. I know my players, we've talked about it a lot, they would love to be at home and playing and having that opportunities, but you know, to run any kind of professional league, it's extremely challenging, extremely expensive.
Last question, Lee.
For the players, what do you guys think about the match?
Excited. I think San Diego's an amazing team, and we've played Gabby before. We played Penn State when we were here in Omaha a few years ago, so we know that she's a super talented player, and she's going to put their hitters in really great situations. So we really need to show up and play how we play. I think if we do the things that we do really well at a good high level consistently over time, we can be in a really great position to win this game. But it's definitely going to be a super exciting game. There's going to be, you know, a big crowd, lots of different pressure that we haven't felt this season. So it's going to be, you know, who can handle those emotions and handle that big of a stage the best.
Yeah, we're extremely excited. Like Logan said, there is that amount of pressure just because it is the Final Four. Everyone's extremely talented here, but I think we've done a really good job throughout the season just improving and getting to a point where we feel as though we can take the pressure and we can deal with it and we can, you know, compete at a high level. So I'm really excited to see how we all come out tomorrow. I know we're all going to be locked in, but we're just going to go play.
All right, thank you, everybody. As a reminder, locker rooms are closed to media today. Please work with the SIDs on additional requests. A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly.